All right, hey, let's try this one more time, huh? Good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, April 23rd. One second, I'm going to turn this camera just a little bit like that. Okay, so, yesterday I started reading to you guys chapter 17 called The Hole in the Wall. I was almost done with the chapter, and lo and behold, my phone died on me. So I have it plugged in this morning, lots of battery life, and I'm going to try this again. Okay, so you can see I've got my red and black checkered blanket behind me, trying to keep the the sunlight out, so that it's not that's the only thing that you see. You can see me and such. So if you're wondering what that's all about, that's what that's for. Here we go. Chapter 17. Hole in the Wall. Hideki didn't know where his sister was now, but he knew the last place she'd been before the American monsters came. Her high school. That was where he decided to start. The schoolhouse was still standing when he got there, but a big hole had been blown in one side of it by an American bomb. "Kimiko!" he cried. He dropped the sack with the Emperor's photographs and ran inside. What he saw made him gasp. Students lay dead all around Hideki. Some of them had been thrown across the room by the blast. Others were simply slumped over their desks. The bomb had hit while the students were in class. Hideki would have retched if he'd had anything in his stomach. He wanted to run to get as far away from this horrible scene as he could. But Hideki had to know if any of the girls was his sister. He went up and down the rows of desks, examining each girl's face, but none of them was Kimiko. He was sure of it. Relief washed over him. It felt wrong to be happy his sister wasn't here when so many other girls hadn't been so lucky. But it meant that there was a chance his sister was still alive somewhere. Kimiko had been one of the older girls at the school. Perhaps she had already been sent to her nursing assignment. But where? Hideki searched the room for clues. There were still lessons scratched on the board. The neat kanji starting in the upper right corner and moving down and left across the blackboard. So they write like completely opposite from how we write. We start in the upper left-hand corner, work left to right, and down. They start in the upper right-hand corner and go down and across. So, interesting. A Japanese language lesson. On the wall beside the blackboard next to the hole the bomb had made was a framed photo of the school's faculty and students. The girls wore their best clothes, kimonos for some, fancy Western dresses for others, and their male teachers wore kimonos or jackets and ties. There was a brighter spot on the wall next to the photograph where another frame had hung but was now missing. A picture of His Majesty, the Emperor. Hideki had guessed. Someone had taken it, no doubt, to try to protect the Emperor's Mabui, But they had left the photo of the girls where it was. Hideki examined the papers scattered around the room. Most of them were pages of student work, but one was an official communication from Army headquarters. It ordered all fifth-year girls from the school to report to the Army hospital in Nishi Bashi. That's an interesting town name. Hideki's heart leaped. Kimiko was a fifth-year student. That must be where she was. But Nishi Bashi was a town on the southern part of the island, the same direction the American monsters were going. Hideki would have to get past them to find his sister. I can't do it, he thought. He remembered the disastrous first meeting of the Americans and the Blood and Iron Student Corps, and he was frightened all over again. It would be so much easier to run north, to hide in the part of the island the Americans had already passed through. But it was his father's dying wish that Hideki find Kimiko to restore what was left of their family, and Hideki had promised him he would. The hole in the wall of the school was like the lens of a camera, and through it Hideki saw Shiri Castle in the distance. Shiri Castle was a big 4-story red building, the biggest in all of Okinawa, with a Chinese pagoda-style roof and ornate columns. Hideki thought of what Lieutenant Tanaka, the photographer, had said. What story did this picture tell? What had happened before this moment? What was happening now? And what would happen next? What had come before? Hideki had learned in school. For hundreds of years, Shiri Castle had been the royal palace of the Ryukyu Kingdom. Then the Japanese had invaded and conquered Okinawa in 1609. That fateful year, Shigetomo had cursed his clan forever with his cowardice. Now the Japanese army ruled the island from the caves and tunnels. Now the Japanese army ruled the island from the caves and tunnels Hideki and his classmates had helped dig beneath Shiri Castle last year. The castle was a fortress, and so was Okinawa. That was the story Hideki saw, and it gave him hope that the Imperial Japanese Army would win and he might actually find his sister. What happened next? Hideki would step into the picture, head south towards Ichi, Nishi, Biashi, and Kimiko. Shuri Castle was on the way, and if there was any place safe on the whole island, IJA headquarters had to be it. Hideki heard strange voices outside, and he froze. American soldiers, a whole platoon of them, coming into the village. His hand went to one of the grenades in his pocket, but just as quickly he let it go. He might be able to kill 1 or 2 soldiers, but the others would kill Hideki just as quick, and then he would never find his sister. He had to find somewhere to hide instead. Hideki heard a creak on the porch steps and threw himself on top of one of the empty desks. He flopped over the desktop and pretended to be dead. It wasn't hard. His uniform shirt and pants were so filthy they were unrecognizable, and his hair was matted and mangy. A buzzing fly crawled over his hands and face and up inside his cap. His cap! Hideki whipped it off his head and dropped it at his feet. He flopped back down on the desktop just seconds before the American soldier came into the room. Would the American see his cap? Would Hideki have to kill him with a grenade after all? Hideki kept his eyes screwed shut and held his breath, his heart pounding in his chest. Heavy boots shuffled a few steps into the room and then stopped. Had the soldier spotted him? Was he aiming his rifle at Hideki right now? Hideki waited, his lungs burning, sweat soaking his back. When Hideki didn't hear anything more for almost a full minute, he pried his eyes open to take a peek. There he was, an American soldier, not much older than he was, Hideki realized with a start. He didn't even have a beard, and his face was round and freckled. He wore a big green and brown poncho over his backpack and a matching helmet on his head, both of which made him look more like a turtle man than a soldier. He was wet and mucky, just like Hideki, and he dripped water on the dry floor. The soldier hadn't spotted Hideki. He was looking instead at the framed picture of the students and the faculty. What in the world did he want with that? The soldier stared at it for a few seconds more, then took the photograph out of its frame. The soldier folded the picture in half and put it in a pocket under his poncho. But why? Hideki wondered. Did the soldier know one of the girls in the photograph? Was he tracking one of them down? Was there something special about this school? Ray! A man called from outside. He asked a question in English that Hideki didn't understand. and then called the other soldier's name again. Ray! The soldier in the room with Hideki called back, and Hideki squeezed his eyes shut and played dead as the soldier picked up his rifle and left. Hideki didn't breathe again until the soldier was long gone. Okay, that's chapter 17. Wow, we're up to chapter 17 already. We're about almost halfway through the book, huh? So chapter 17, the hole in the wall. That's Hideki's perspective. Chapter 18 is called Deceased. I wonder what that's going to be about, huh? So once again, guys, hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the story. Pass the word. If anyone wants to get caught up on it that hasn't been paying attention, all the chapters 1 through 17 are on YouTube, and they're also in Google Classroom. So in the meantime, have a great day, everyone, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow, huh? See how long this chapter takes to get uploaded on the YouTube, huh? It's been slow. So take care. Bye.